All right. Well, happy Monday. Happy Monday, everybody. I hope that you're having a good Monday. I sure am so far. This has been a weird kind of start to the year for me. I don't know about you, but last week was the first full week of the year, but it still seemed like people were on vacation and a lot of business wasn't getting done. I don't know. Hopefully this week is more productive for me, and hopefully you're having a productive year so far anyway. But before we get into this video, I wanted to just say one thing. I've got a really good wife. I really do. And she is the kind of wife that does not have a problem calling me out if I need to be called out in a respectful way, of course. She's not quarrelsome or anything like that. But anyway, we're looking for houses, as I said in the last few videos, and we've struck out 3 times in a row. 3 offers, 3 different houses, 3 losses. And it's been pretty weird circumstances, too. It's been pretty bad. Anyway, so yesterday I was just frustrated, very frustrated. And it was the Lord's Day. It was very inappropriate for me to be frustrated, very inappropriate for me to even be thinking about these things. But I was. And she said to me, isn't your thing for 2020 to be to reject despair? And I had to say, you're right. You're absolutely right. Man, despair is one of those things that just catches you, man. It just catches you. You gotta be on your guard all the time, man. Anyway, let's jump into the video today. I want to do a few of these. I don't know if this is going to be a series, but this is going to be something that I will do again. There's just no question about it, because there's a lot of wizardry going on out there. That's right. There are a lot of wizards out there. Did you know this? Wizards. I've been talking about wizards every now and then. And I'm not talking about sorcery, like people that are, controlling the dark realms and things like that, doing incantations and things like that. I'm not talking about that kind of wizard. Although there are some sorcerers out there as well, let's just be honest. But I'm talking about the Wizard of Oz kind of wizards. If you remember the Wizard of Oz, let me let you in on a little secret, everybody. Wizards don't typically do real magic. Wizards don't typically do real magic. Most wizards are like the Wizard of Oz, where their wizardry is the art of distraction. Their wizardry is to have powerful sounding rhetoric, which without actually saying much, and they distract you from what the reality of the situation is. So if you remember the Wizard of Oz in the movie, he had a hologram image of this imposing looking figure. He had flames and pyrotechnics. He had a booming voice and big thunderclaps and things like that. But in reality, that was a distraction. You were supposed to focus on that. But in reality, he was just a frail old man, kind of a weirdo, sitting behind a curtain, pressing some buttons and speaking into a microphone. That's what a wizard really is. And so you got to break down the wizardry. You got to be able to spot a wizard at work. And a wizard practices the art of distraction. That's what a wizard does. A wizard practices the art of distraction. That wizard has wizard spells that doesn't really, it sounds pretty good, but it's not really actually saying much of any value whatsoever. And let me introduce you to the first person I will be analyzing for their wizardry. Karen Swallow Prior. The illustrious, the conservative stalwart Karen Swallow Prior. This is who Karen Swallow Prior is, in case you don't know her. There she is. There she is with her dog. Her dog looks terrified to be there. There's always something about someone who likes animals a little too much, if you know what I mean. This dog looks like, get me out of here. Do you remember Tiny Toons? What was that character from Tiny Toons? Oh, what was her name? Like Elvira or Elmira or something like that. And she would just squeeze her animals. I'm going to love you and kiss you. Anyway, she's obviously conservative. Can't you tell? I mean, look at her conservative uniform. It means clearly a conservative person here. Anyway, so she tweeted something out yesterday. Look at this. Look at this dog. This dog is miserable. Oh, man. Anyway, let me get to the point here. This is the wizardry. The dog is not part of the wizardry. Every wizard has an animal pet. That's true. I mean, a lot of wizards will have like a magical animal, such as like a liger or, like a unicorn or something like that. But Karen, she's got a dog. She's got a dog, a miserable looking dog. Anyway, so here's what her tweet says. I suppose there are less than obvious reasons why someone would attack the people speaking out against racism and abuse in the church. And then there's the obvious one. Now, this is a prototypical wizard spell. That's what it is. This is a wizard spell. I don't know if you've ever heard a wizard spell before, but this is a wizard spell. I suppose there are less than obvious reasons why someone would attack people speaking out against racism and abuse in the church. And then there's the obvious one. Now, the whole point of this wizard spell is to trigger things in you. Because what this is going to do, this wizard spell, is going, everyone that agrees with her side of this issue, which is the liberal progressive side. I know you've been told, I've been told too. She's a stalwart conservative. I know that's what you've been told. But her side of this is the liberal side. I mean, just look at her. This is the progressive side. Maybe the dog is actually conservative. Maybe that's why he's so miserable. I don't know. But anyway, so what this is supposed to do, this tweet, is supposed to say, okay, well, she's not actually saying anything, first of all, because there's some less than obvious reasons, and then there's some obvious reasons. Well, that's obviously true of anything. Of anything, there's obvious reasons why people do things, and then there's less obvious reasons why people do things. So there is no wisdom here. But this tweet does have the air of wisdom, does it not? And this is the point of a wizard spell. When you see the wizard speaking or doing something, you're supposed to think, wow, how does he do it? How does he do it? Where does he get this wisdom? But really, there's nothing here. This tweet could be said of anything. But what is this supposed to do? It's supposed to trigger people that agree with her to be like, yeah, that's it. They're racist. You see, that's the obvious reason. People speaking out against racism and abuse. If you attack those people, then you must be for racism and abuse. Or if you're not for it, you are a racist and an abuser. That's the obvious reason. Then there's less than obvious reasons too, like, and in her mind, the less than obvious reasons are probably not the reasons, although she's not saying that. So this is the point of the wizard spell, because you could come at this tweet and be like, what are you saying? You're saying that Tom Askell's a racist? Because that's what she wants. She wants to trigger you into saying something like that. Are you saying that Tom Askell is a racist? And she's going to say, oh, I didn't say that. Guilty conscience. That's the point of the wizard spell. It's supposed to get you to bite, go too far with it so she can be the victim. Because Karen Swallow Pryor is a professional woe is me kind of victim. Oh, the liberals hate me. The conservatives hate me. All that kind of stuff. She's practicing the art of being a victim. And everybody can see it. I mean, smart women can see this and they don't like it. I mean, if you have a good woman, right? If you have a good woman who's got a good head on her shoulders, she sees this kind of thing. See, women are very good at seeing through this kind of a wizard spell. It's just that simple. And so anyway, so that's the point of this. So you have to understand, like she's not saying anything, so she wants you to bite and maybe overcommit so she can say, well, I'm not saying that. But she does want to plant that seed. That's what a wizard spell does. It plants a seed in you. And so now, anytime anyone criticizes anyone who's speaking out against racism and abuse in the church about anything, in your mind, what she's planting is, well, usually it's the easier, explanation. So there could be a good reason or a less than obvious reason that he's doing this. But what's more likely is that the obvious reason is why they're doing this. And so they must be a racist. They must be an abuser. And that's obviously not correct. That's not logically correct. There's nothing logical about that at all. And it's unbiblical. It's immoral to think this way. Because if somebody says, hey, I'm against racism too, but when I see this person speaking out against racism, I see these biblical problems, X, Y, and Z, and I also see some reasons to believe that this person actually has some undergirding racial lenses to how they're seeing the world, so they're actually acting in a racist way. And you can put all those explanations out there and all that kind of stuff, but this tweet seeks to undermine that for more stupid people. Reasonable people don't fall for this wizard spell. Wizard spells are usually best for like the rank and file, the dopes out there, because someone can say Tom Askell can lay out his whole case in a very ordered and logical way, and the people that fall for the wizard spell says, yeah, but if you are speaking out against someone who's speaking out against racism, then you must be a racist. This is the wizard spell. Because, and let me show you how this works, because I could say the same thing to Karen Swallow Pryor. I can say this: Karen, you've attacked Tom Askell, right? Yeah, you've attacked Tom Askell. And I suppose there are less than obvious reasons why someone would attack someone that is such a strong proponent of the gospel of Jesus Christ. And then there's the obvious one. And what would that do? What value does that tweet have? It has no value. It has no value. It's the same exact statement. She wouldn't use that, of course, against progressives, obviously. But she uses it against conservatives because she knows that her progressive allies, the people that she is really for, let's just be honest, this is the people she's for, the progressives, they don't think very deeply. And they love this. This is red meat for them. Wizard spell, man. This is a wizard spell. The wizard can trick dopes. The wizard can trick the fearful. The wizard can trick people that have an axe to grind. The wizard cannot trick someone who's got a good head on their shoulders. They can see this stupidity for what it is. This is stupid. This is stupid. But Karen's not stupid. See, that's the other thing about this whole deal. The fact that this is such an idiotic tweet. I mean, this is one of the stupidest things I've heard in 2020. It's only 13 days into 2020. There's lots of room for someone else to take that crown. But right now, Karen Swallow Pryor has that crown. The illustrious conservative Karen Swallow Pryor has that crown. This is the stupidest tweet I've read this year. But she's not stupid. She's a wizard. And you know how you stop this kind of wizardry? You do it the way these guys have done it. Jacob Brunton, you just start telling the truth to a wizard. You see, that's how you defeat the wizard. The Wizard of Oz can be defeated. All you have to do is have someone who has enough sense to go behind the curtain, like Toto. Pull the curtain, and the wizard's like, that's what happened last week, by the way. Oh, man, did you see all that stuff that was happening in the SBC? The great video with John Harris and the enemies within the church group. Great video. And everyone's on the attack because they've just been exposed. The curtain has been pulled. Everyone can see behind it. They're like, ooh, they're really not that powerful. They ain't got no clothes on. You know what I mean? That's how you defeat this kind of wizardry. And the reality is that the ERLC, the Gospel Coalition, Big Eva in general, is full of wizardry. And Karen Swallow Pryor is a mid-tier wizard. Let's just be honest. She's a mid-tier wizard. She's not a mover and shaker. She's a minion. She's a minion, and so she will do her low-level spells here. This is a low-level spell. Not very good. But it's effective on a certain group of people. I feel like I have a little bit of Teflon on, to be honest, because I'm sure she would still call me racist. But if she does, it'd be the stupidest thing ever, because obviously I'm not a racist. I have not said anything racist. And it would be stupid for me to be racist against blacks and Puerto Ricans, because I am a black and a Puerto Rican. So, I shouldn't have said that. I'm not black. But I am African and native. That's probably what I should say, to be a little bit more accurate. But yeah, man, this is the thing. Like Big Eva is full of this kind of a statement, and this kind of a statement is wizardry. It's intended to distract. It's intended to have an air of wisdom, even though it is one of the dumbest things you could possibly think or read. And the fact that this got 1,000 likes and 122 retweets means that there are a lot of dopes out there. But there are not as many dopes out there as they think there are. I think there are a lot more people that have a good head on their shoulders. A lot of women out there that can see through this ridiculously ridiculous statement. Ridiculously ridiculous. How's that for a statement? From Karen Swallow Pryor, the illustrious, the conservative, the stalwart of the biblical conservative faith, Karen Swallow Pryor. They can see it for what it is. And that's just the reality of the situation. We're going to do a lot more of these because wizardry is very common in the Gospel Coalition and ERLC. I hope this is helpful. God bless. But seriously though, like this dog, man, he's like, help, send help. It's a good looking dog though. I'll tell you that. That's a cool looking dog. And I'll say something else. If this is not the face of a conservative, then I don't know what is. Anyway, God bless.